Welcome back. Mitch Argon here with Calneva Realty. I'm going to take you through the Reno Tahoe real estate market in just a short number of minutes. Let's get started. Okay, let's talk about May 2022 market numbers. Like in prior video sessions, let's start with median price. You can see that Reno and the Dayton market both set median price highs in April of 2022 at 25% and 27% over the median price from April of 2021. So we're still seeing very significant growth on a year-over-year basis, although we do expect that percentage of increase to slow down as the markets are cooling down as we move into the latter part of this year. It's really useful to take a look at inventory. We've been inventory constrained, meaning there's been very few homes for sale in the market for the last couple of years, actually. It's where it's been most noticeable. And you can see here that the inventory numbers, while still fairly small on a historical basis, have risen quite a bit as a percentage. So the far right column that shows the percentages does show you that we're probably 70% to 100% more homes on the market than a year ago at this time, which was very constrained. So while it is improving, giving home buyers more options and making home sellers become more competitive against one another, it is still relatively low, but increasing. A little bit bigger picture here. Now we have the median price, as you can see from the first chart. And then in the homes sold chart over here, you'll notice that all of the transaction volume is down. In some cases, like Sparks is only down 1%, which is not very significant. But you can see it's down in fairly meaningful ways in some other markets. This is really, I think, just a function of some lessening of some demand that we're seeing, because we do have more homes in the market than we had a year ago. We were very much inventory constrained. Now we have a little bit better inventory situation, but our sales volume is slightly down. So we're seeing a little bit of softening as an early indicator there on homes sold. Now on the far right, month supply of inventory, this again is a measure of how long it would take to exhaust the existing homes on the market at the rate that we're selling homes on average and measured in months. And you can see that these numbers are up dramatically as a percentage basis over here in this far right column. But we are still relatively low in terms of month supply of inventory. So as we're going through this market adjustment that we'll touch on just a little bit, the month supply of inventory down in the sub 1 and still just a little bit over 1 for most of our markets is still quite a bit below the 4-month threshold, which has been established as seller market territory. So while the markets are changing, it is still fairly constrained and still favors a seller. And that's important to know. I want to share with you a few things that we're seeing across our agents with our clients in the field, and just give you some perspective on that. So number one, we're seeing a higher level of volume in homes that are showing price reductions, and we're seeing more significant price reductions in terms of the dollar amount that they're being dropped. So this is a relatively new phenomenon. We weren't seeing this a year ago, certainly. And what that is reflective of is really two things. One, a little bit of softening on the demand, and sellers pricing their homes perhaps a little too aggressive, hoping that the market will continue to roar forward, going forward as it has in the past year or two. Even though we're seeing the increase in these price reductions, keep in mind the home prices are still appreciating. So you have to look at that as a balanced view. It doesn't mean that the prices are coming down in aggregate. What it means is that there are people having to lower the prices because their expectations were too high. We are also seeing some softening emerge in certain market segments. So you have to realize that the real estate market is not one market. It really is comprised of segments. Segments broken down by price ranges, segments broken down by different geographical areas, segments broken down by characteristics of a home, like a 2-story home versus a single-story home, etc. And so we are looking for these signals in our daily business here, and we are seeing some softening in certain market segments. For example, Higher price ranges is where you would typically expect to see things soften sooner because there are fewer buyers in the higher price range of homes than there are in the lower price range of homes. Also, homes with less general demand, whether it be a home that's multi-level, like I mentioned, a two-story, or in sometimes locations that are just less desirable, further away from amenities, things like that, and areas that have a higher level of noise or whatever, maybe it backs to a freeway. We're seeing some softening demand in those areas. So homes aren't selling like they were really just 45, 60 days ago. So what was that looking like? Well, before, we might have seen a home that had 6 offers in a short number of days. Now that same home may be seeing 1 or 2 offers in the same time frame. If before a home had an immediate offer that was coming in, 1 offer coming in within a day or two, that may be taking some days or maybe a week or two to get that home under contract if it's priced right. So while we're seeing the demand soften, the markets are still fairly brisk because we're taking out those extra offers, if you will, those extra buyers off the stack. So at the same time, we're seeing this softening, which I'm just sharing with you here because I think it's significant and helps you understand what's going on in the markets beyond the numbers. I just want to reiterate that we are still in a seller's market based on the technical measurement, which I showed you, which is month supply of inventory. So that's it for what we're seeing in today's market. It really is a mixture. If you are a seller, you want to really understand the market segment that you're working in to best understand how you should be pricing the home and what you might expect in terms of demand for your home, because it's a mixed bag right now, as I mentioned. If you're a buyer, you should also be aware of those same things. There's not a need to just rush in and pay over list price right away if there's no competition on a home. And in some cases, the competition is not there at the door immediately. So you may have, in addition to more choices to look for a home, you may also have the ability to more comfortably negotiate the purchase contract without having to be in a competitive situation in every case. So that's it for this month. We'll cap off May of 2022. If you have any questions or any comments, you can leave them down below on the YouTube channel that we're on here. And if you need any further help, please feel free to reach out. Either myself or any one of our 30+ agents would be happy to help you anywhere in the Northern Nevada region. Thank you very much. Until next month, have a great day. Thanks for your time.